Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with Creole crab noodles. That's right, we're going to be doing an Asian-style rice noodle dish, jazzed up with some of my favorite ingredients from New Orleans. And what I think is going to surprise you the most about this dish is not the amazing taste, or the addictive texture, or beautiful appearance. What I think you're going to find most shocking about this is just how fast and easy this is to put together. Alright, this shouldn't take more than 15 minutes start to finish, as long as you prep a few things ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get started with those few things. And we'll begin by dicing up some celery, onion, and pepper. Or as they call it in Louisiana, the Holy Trinity. And this is basically the aromatic vegetable base that starts off so many of the great recipes there. So I have some finely diced celery, some red and green jalapeno, as well as some green onions. Although any other onion will work. And then besides prepping that little bit of veggie, we're also going to have to find some crab. And if that doesn't work out, you could always buy some. And while freshly cooked and picked crab would be the best, this pasteurized blue crab is sold in most big grocery stores' fish departments and works out very nicely here. And then the only other thing we could probably do before we start cooking is go ahead and mix up our sauce, which is going to start with 3 or 4 cloves of finely crushed or minced garlic. And then to that we'll go ahead and add a little bit of ketchup, as well as some rice vinegar, which is sold in 2 forms. There's the regular, and then the one you see me pouring in here, which goes by the name of seasoned. And all that is regular rice vinegar to which they add some sugar and salt. So we'll pour in some of that, as well as a little splash of soy sauce. And then we will add one of my favorite all-time secret ingredients, some Asian fish sauce, which is technically optional, but I consider mandatory. And then I'm also going to squeeze in a very generous amount of hot sauce, or at least what I think is a generous amount. And then we'll go ahead and finish this off with a spoon of paprika, as well as a little bit of the lovely and talented cayenne pepper. And then last but not least, a little bit of ground cumin. And that's it. We'll go ahead and take a whisk and give this a mix. And then once our very simple sauce is set, we can move on to the last major component, the noodles. And as I may have mentioned, we're going to use rice noodles here, which look like this. And while they feel and appear to be very much like regular pasta, these get prepared in a slightly different way. Since instead of adding these to boiling water, what we do is put them in a bowl like this, and then cover them with boiling water, which I'm just doing from a teapot. And then what we'll do besides giving these a toss with our tongs is set our timer and let these soak for 10 minutes exactly. At which point we'll drain them and add them to the veggies we're about to cook. Okay, so make sure you give those a nice stir. And don't forget to set your timer and also have a strainer or colander nearby. And then what we'll do while those are soaking is cook our veggies. And for that, we'll use a skillet set over medium-high heat, into which we preheated a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil. And we will go ahead and add our Holy Trinity. And what we'll do is cook this stirring for about 3 or 4 minutes or so, or until the vegetables just start to soften up a little. Okay, we don't want them crunchy, and we don't want them mushy, so somewhere in between that. And as we do this, we want to keep in mind that we have that timer set for our noodles, and when that rings, we need to drain those and add it to this pan immediately. So that adds a little bit of excitement to this procedure. Right, you know those action movies where the hero has like 10 minutes to defuse the bomb, otherwise the whole world explodes? This is as close as most of us will ever get to that feeling. Alright, so don't stress out too much. But we do need to complete this step before the timer rings. So that will be up to you to monitor. I mean, you are after all the Delta Dawn of not doing this wrong. But having said that, 10 minutes should be plenty of time. And if your veggies finish early like mine did, we'll just go ahead and turn off the heat. And with that heat off, I'll go over and check my noodles, where the timer's just about to ring. And as you can probably see, they've swelled up and softened up nicely. And then like I said, as soon as that timer rings, we will quickly but safely go ahead and drain those. And we'll go ahead and add those to our pan. And at this point, we can also quickly toss in our crab and sauce mixture. In fact, we add those so quickly, we don't even bother to focus our camera. And then to finish this off, what we'll do is turn our heat back on to medium-high and stir all this together. And as soon as our noodles have been coated with all that goodness and everything's been heated through, we are pretty much done. So I cook mine stirring over medium-high heat for a couple minutes. And if everything goes according to plan, you should end up with something that looks close to this. And by the way, if you were going to add some fresh herb to this, now would be the time to do it. Okay, stuff like basil, cilantro, mint could be very nice here. But this time I'm going to enjoy this sans herb. So all I'm going to do is give it a taste for seasoning, which I'm happy to report was just right. So I went ahead and served this up. And of course, because I'm a highly trained professional, we're going to use a pre-warmed bowl. And once that's dished up for a final touch, we'll top that with a little bit of sliced green onion. And that's it. what I'm calling Creole crab noodles is done. Or would it be our done? Either way, let me grab a fork and go in for the official taste. And even though it doesn't look like we have a ton of crab in this, we actually do have a generous amount. And even though you can't necessarily see it, the flavor is there. Accentuated, as I said, by that Asian fish sauce. And along with our other seasonings, that holy trinity of vegetables in the background really did work beautifully in this dish. So for what was basically an experiment, I have to say this came out really well. And if you've never experienced rice noodles before, they have this very unique sort of chewy texture that I find makes them very, very addictive, no matter how you flavor them. In fact, the reason pad thai is the most popular dish served at Thai restaurants is because they use these noodles, and people just can't get enough of this texture. But anyway, that's it. Creole crab noodles. Whether you're going to confuse your friends by serving these at some Mardi Gras related gathering, or you're just searching for something tasty and easy for a weeknight, I really do hope you give this a try soon. So head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy